Know the challenge. You've got your main ERP system, and then you've got your powerhouse extended warehouse management system. And getting them to talk to each other, well, that can be tricky. So today, we're going to do just that. We're going to build the digital bridge that connects these two powerful worlds. So let's think of it like this. Your main SAP ERP system, that's the business mainland. It's this bustling city where all your core operations are happening. You know, sales, finance, the whole shebang. And then, way out in the ocean, you've got SAP EWM. It's a high-tech, specialized logistics island totally dedicated to the nitty-gritty of advanced warehousing. And there's the big question, right? If they're separate, you can't just hope the information swims across. You need a solid, reliable connection. So in this explainer, we're going to walk you through exactly how that digital bridge gets built, piece by piece. Okay, so before we can even think about laying cables or pouring concrete, the two systems have to officially recognize each other. You can literally think of it as establishing diplomatic relations. This first part is all about that formal digital handshake. And this handshake, it follows a very strict three-step protocol. First, we define what are called logical systems. Next, we create RFC users. These are kind of like the official ambassadors. And finally, we define the RFC destinations. This whole process is known as Application Link Enabling, or ALE, and it's the absolute foundation for getting any two SAP systems to talk. Now, this idea of a logical system is the absolute heart of the handshake. Think of it as giving each system a totally unique official address, like an embassy in a foreign capital. So, your ERP system might be ZME CLNT 800, and your EWM system is T43 CLNT 800. That way, when a message goes out, there is zero confusion about who's talking and who's listening. All right, diplomatic ties are established. The handshake is done. Now it's time to bring in the engineers. We need the detailed technical blueprints that are going to govern exactly how this bridge works and how all the traffic is going to flow across it. So over on the EWM side, our logistics island, the blueprints have a very specific checklist. First, we define a business system. That's like the island's official registered name. Then, and this is crucial, we map that name to the logical system address we just created. And finally, we set the control parameters. These are basically the rules of the road for all the data that's going to be zipping back and forth. And here's a pretty cool little piece of trivia from the source material. Part of these blueprints involves something called a business system group, and it's described as a heritage item, basically a leftover from SAP SCM, which was the original platform EWM was built on. It's kind of like an old treaty that you still have to honor in the plans. A great little reminder that even in high tech, history matters. So, with the EWM side all planned out, we got to turn our attention back to the mainland. The ERP system also needs its own set of blueprints to get its side of the bridge ready for the big connection. On the ERP side, we've got what's basically a control panel full of switches. The distribution mode switch, that decides if a delivery is sent over the bridge the second it's ready, or if we want to wait. Other switches handle things like special deliveries, or making sure goods receipts can only come from EWM. There's even a special switch just for S4HANA systems that lets ERP change a delivery that's already on its way. Pretty neat. So, with all these systems out there, how does ERP know which bridge to send the data to? That's where the distribution model comes in. It's the official flight plan. It says, crystal clear, hey, for any deliveries from this warehouse, send them to that specific logical address, which is, of course, our EWM island. This makes sure not a single data packet gets lost. Okay, the diplomatic work is done. The blueprints are signed off. Now comes the most exciting part, connecting that final span and making this bridge whole. Over on the mainland, our port is officially ready to go. Let's call it Warehouse W01. This is the starting point for all our data traffic. And across the water on our logistics island, the receiving dock is all set. We'll call it Warehouse EW01. This is the destination. And here it is, the final critical piece of the puzzle. After all of that complex setup, the connection boils down to one simple mapping table. It just says Warehouse W01 on the ERP side is directly linked to Warehouse EW01 on the EWM side. And with that one little entry, boom, the two sides are joined. The bridge is officially open and data can finally flow. So we did all this technical work, but why? I mean, what's the real payoff? Let's talk about why this bridge isn't just some techie project, but a real business game changer. Honestly, the benefits are huge. By connecting these worlds, that separate island and mainland, they now act like one.
seamless, unified city. You get real-time visibility, so you can make better promises to your customers. You slash costly errors because you're not doing manual entry. And you speed up processing, getting orders out the door way faster.
But if you had to boil it all down to one single massive outcome, it's this. 1. You create one single source of truth for your entire operation. No more arguments about which system has the right inventory numbers. Everyone, from sales to the warehouse floor, is looking at the exact same real-time data. It's one system, one truth, and that leads to total efficiency. And that really leaves us with one final thought. Building this bridge unlocks just an incredible amount of potential. The technology is there, so the real question is, now that information can move this fast, is your business actually ready to operate at that new speed?
Have you ever wondered